A man found a little kitten living on the staircase of his apartment building. He noticed that her eyes hadn't opened at a few weeks old. It wasn't until later he discovered that the kitty was born without eyes. Meet Vachi. Zayed K. from Egypt started feeding the tiny calico, making sure that she had something to eat every day. At the time, he wasn't able to bring in the kitten as he was living with 5 other family members. Her eyes never opened, despite that she was getting bigger. Zayed thought it might be an eye infection. I opened her eye sockets to check, but there was nothing inside. That's when I knew that she was completely blind, Zayed told us. He continued to provide her food and stayed by her side until she finished eating. When he had to leave for a few days with his family, he was worried sick about this little feline. I returned home to find her lying down on my doorstep, and she was just skin and bones, looking a lot dirtier than she was before. My family didn't need any more convincing after seeing that saddening sight, as I had been telling them how a blind stray cat wouldn't be able to survive on her own and how we needed to take her in. He began to hand-feed the kitten around the clock since she was too weak to eat on her own. He moved her to the litter box every few hours and stayed with her until she found her way back to her food. Once the calico regained strength, she started to explore her new abode by sniffing around every nook and cranny, navigating with her other senses. She learned to navigate around the apartment more easily than I'd expected. When I first brought her in, she could barely walk. The more strength she regained, the more she started exploring everywhere, even found a few favorite sleeping spots in tight spaces around the house, Zayed told us. Zayed gave Vachi a much-needed bath, and the sweet calico rubbed all over his hand as if to thank him for saving her life. As the kitty was nursed back to health, they noticed that she never responded when they called her name. She didn't seem to be startled by any loud, jarring noise, even though my other cat would immediately start running away if I started the vacuum or blender. She gets startled super easily if someone touches her, even slightly. When I snapped my fingers really loudly right next to her ears, she would not even flinch or react in the slightest. That's when they found out that Vachi was also deaf. But the little wonder cat never knew she was any different. Since she was born without hearing and vision, her other senses have heightened to compensate for what she doesn't have. She's able to navigate the house in her own unique ways. Vachi is extremely playful and loves to chase her tail and play. She enjoys wandering around the house by herself, but if she senses someone around, she doesn't miss an opportunity for some playtime and cuddles. Vachi doesn't know what life would be like if she could see and hear, but one thing she knows for sure, she's happy the way she is and nothing can slow her down. It was one of my better decisions in life. Now she's living her life just like any other cat and absolutely loves to be petted. She knows she's perfect.